The Mexican ambassador and other diplomats have been given 72 hours to leave Bolivia. An in-depth look at this year's trade war between the United States and China. And we take a look at Telesur's exclusive interview with the former president of Brazil, Luis Ignacio Lula da Silva. Hello and welcome to Telesur English. I am Stefania Bravo and this is From the Sun. Bolivia's de facto president, Janine Áñez, has expelled the Mexican ambassador, María Teresa Mercado, and two Spanish diplomats from the country. Mercado, Cristina Borreguero, and Álvaro Fernández were given 72 hours to leave. This comes after Mexico's foreign ministry slammed the coup administration for the harassment and intimidation of the diplomats at its embassy in La Paz and requested a meeting with Bolivia's chargé d'affaires. The Mexican embassy, which has provided refuge to Bolivians fleeing political persecution, has been surrounded by a heavy police presence as well as drones.
In this case, there has been a clear violation of the sovereignty of Bolivia. There was an excess of diplomats who were involved in Friday's situation from Mexico and Spain, and we had no other option but to apply the Vienna Convention and ask them to leave Bolivian territory.
Meanwhile, Bolivia's deposed president Evo Morales has his movement towards socialism political party will announce its nominees for general elections on January 19th. Morales was speaking from Buenos Aires, Argentina, where he sought refuge from political persecution after last month's coup. Heads of the 9 departments of Bolivia and social leaders will meet in Argentina to choose the candidates for president and vice president. Bolivia's de facto authorities have yet to announce a date for the new election.
You know that there are 4 or 5 candidates. It's as if we were in the middle of the primary. The elections will be legitimate but not legal. There will be a permanent debate. It's in the hands of Diego Bari, David Choquehuanca, Androico Rodriguez, Luis Arce, former Minister of Economy.
Our correspondent Carolina Silvestre has more.
After a meeting with more than 100 leaders of the MAS party, President Evo Morales held a press conference where he confirmed another gathering on January 19 with all the top leaders of the MAS to choose the candidate for president and vice president in anticipated elections. Bolivia's electoral court has said they will announce the date of the elections on January 2. Morales also expressed some criticism towards his party, saying that the MAS were naive in regards to the last month's coup and that they failed to have a plan B. Morales also warned that the presidential candidate of the MAS will not only represent indigenous people, but all sectors of society. He also made a call to Argentinian lawmakers to condemn the coup and the genocide in the Chapada region of Bolivia. He also said he hopes to meet with the Bolivian community in Argentina on January 22. Finally, Morales called on the international community to create a special commission to oversee the upcoming elections.
We thank our correspondent for that report. The trade war initiated by the U.S. against China has been one of the biggest stories of this year. And while the two global powers recently reached an agreement to move forward with a resolution of their conflict, Beijing is staying cautious.
After a year of ups and downs and constant confrontation, China and the U.S. entered 2019 with the possibility of ending their trade war. This conflict has been one of the biggest challenges for the Asian giant, which has long hoped to end a battle where everyone would end up losing.
This year marked the 40th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and the U.S. It should have been an important year for both nations to commemorate the historic moment, but it's a shame that the U.S. has pressured China so strongly in many areas, like the economy, commerce, and technology. This behavior from the U.S. not only disrupted the mutual trust built between them in the last 4 decades, but also affected the planet's stability and development.
The agreement hasn't been signed yet, but China already fulfilled some of the terms. Despite the threatening tone of the US administration, Xi Jinping's government has defended the need of dialogue in respectful conditions to solve the dispute.
On one hand, China has been very firm, and I believe that a resolution is going to depend a lot on the U.S. The U.S. started this trade war, and it falls on them to remove the tariff they imposed on China. But for now, China has shown a clear initiative to end the dispute. According to the latest declaration from China's foreign minister, China and the U.S. might finally come to an accord to end the trade war. It is not going to be easy, but we can expect good news, not only for China and the U.S., but also for the global economy.
Aside from US tariffs, in 2019 Beijing had to face something known as technological harassment from the White House, as they started a crusade against Chinese telecommunications giant Huawei and other technology companies. They did this because of the company's leading position on the development of the 5G network.
I've heard people say that due to this trade war, the economy is not doing well, but personally, I don't see many differences. I think the government has taken proper measures.
Despite the escalation of the conflict with the US, China hasn't modified their plans for continued economic growth in 2020 and to secure well-being of their citizens.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Acompañamos a los pueblos que resisten en cada una de sus luchas.
Somos esa ventana que se abre para visibilizarlos entre fronteras.
Thursday, only on FtS.
The life is full of moments. Moments of fight, moments of hope, moments that transcend, moments that you can live in. Telesur documentaries. Sundays, only on Telesur.
Welcome back to From the South. Thousands of people in Argentina have pressured the governor of Mendoza to ask for the repeal of a law that permits the use of chemicals in mining activities in the region. This comes after the provincial parliament's recent approval of legislation that allows the use of cyanide and mercury, among other toxic chemicals, in drilling projects. Environmental groups believe this will lead to the contamination of water sources in the region, where agriculture is the main source of income.
I am here with a large number of Mendoza people defending the water against the mega mine, against extraction that leaves the places where it takes place in ruins and does not bring any wealth, only destruction.
As part of end-of-the-year celebrations, the Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro led an event to salute the Bolivarian National Armed Forces. Maduro also condemned the various destabilization attempts against the Bolivarian nation, saying the attacks are being coordinated in Colombia and Peru and are spearheaded by Washington, D.C. He also emphasized that all the international attacks against the people of Venezuela, and in particular those against the Bolivarian Armed Forces, have not been successful, thanks to their high moral and ethical values.
Una guerra psicológica.
They are waging a psychological war that has very clear objectives, but it crashed into the greatest thing that the Venezuelan military has, their conscience, their indestructible moral. That is how they fought back against all of the aggressions and plots during 2019. There were threats of an attack in the south, but it failed. They say they were going to take the ports of Cabello, of La Guaira, of Maracaibo, but it failed. They couldn't even try it. We didn't allow them to try. But from where did they try to enter our sacred land? From Colombia. And who led the operation to enter Venezuela with supposed humanitarian aid? Iván Duque and his oligarchic, imperialist government.
Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown says his government has deployed experts to investigate if a Guyanese woman's claims that her twin babies were stolen on the island were true. Prime Minister Brown issued a statement saying the woman's story was, quote, debunked by the evidence presented thus far. Kilma Hammer's case has been highlighted across the region. She said 15 years ago she gave birth to twin girls at a now defunct hospital in Antigua and was told the children had died. Hammer said she never saw their bodies, and when she returned to the hospital, there was no record of her state. The woman now believes the girls are alive and separated, one in the U.S. and the other on the island. CARICOM head and Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Alan Chasney, praised the bloc for exemplifying the spirit of togetherness in his end-of-the-year message. This, as he pointed out, the Caribbean celebrated when St. Vincent and the Grenadines won a seat on the United Nations Security Council earlier this year and lent support to a hurricane-ravaged Bahamas. Chasney said that destruction was another reminder of climate change, which shows the urgency for the Castries' call for collective commitment and action on sustainable development adopted by regional leaders at their summit in July. Recently, our correspondent in Sao Paulo, Brazil, Ignacio Lemos, had a sit-down interview with former President Luis Ignacio Lula da Silva. During this extensive conversation, Lula touched on many subjects, including his recent imprisonment, the rise of the far right in Latin America, and the need for regional integration in the face of imperialist attacks. Let's take a look at an expert from this Telesur exclusive.
Hay procesos de golpe en Brasil. En este momento estamos viviendo una situación de crisis en Bolivia. Quería saber por qué usted cree que Venezuela, después de tantos intentos y tantos ataques, continúa resistiendo.
Já tive a oportunidade, Nacho, de participar de uma grande crise na Venezuela em 2003. Eu lembro que em janeiro de 2003 eu tinha pouco tempo da presidência quando eu propus criar um grupo de amigos da Venezuela para ajudar a democracia venezuelana. E eu lembro que eu propus Brasil, Argentina, não sei se o Canadá, Estados Unidos e Espanha. Tinha pessoas, o próprio companheiro Fidel Castro não queria que participasse os Estados Unidos e a Espanha. E eu fui dizer para o Fidel que era importante que participasse os Estados Unidos e a Espanha, porque os Estados Unidos era responsável pelo golpe e, portanto, tinha credibilidade da direita na Venezuela. E o Aznar tinha sido o único presidente que tinha reconhecido o governo golpista. Então, os dois tinham a confiança dos conservadores da Venezuela. Então era importante que ele estivesse para que os conservadores respeitassem o acordo. Participou o Departamento de Estado americano, na época era o general Colin Powell, participou a Fundação Jimmy Carter, sabe? E foi um sucesso. Fizemos um acordo, teve as eleições, sabe? E tudo mostrou que somente a democracia pode resolver o problema, né? Agora, o Brasil, ao invés de ser um país pacificador, foi um país que ficou alimentando o ódio. Sabe, esse não é o papel do Brasil. A Venezuela era um grande parceiro brasileiro. Nós tínhamos uma relação comercial extraordinária. A relação do povo da Venezuela com o povo brasileiro era fantasticamente. Eu tive no Chaves um dos grandes amigos, sabe, que eu construí na vida. Por isso eu respeito o papel do Maduro. O Maduro se sustentou no poder porque o povo da Venezuela garantiu. A maioria garantiu. Os militares garantiram o respeito à democracia, coisa que não aconteceu no Brasil, coisa que não aconteceu na Bolívia. Então, meu caro, nós temos que valorizar a existência da Venezuela. Só o povo da Venezuela tem o direito de questionar o Maduro e tirar o Maduro. Não é os Estados Unidos. O Trump que cuide do povo americano. Pare de contar mentiras através do fake news e o governo dos Estados Unidos. O Bolsonaro trate de governar o Brasil para o povo brasileiro e não se meta na Venezuela. Se a gente fizer isso, a gente vai construir a paz no nosso continente. Por isso, eu quero dar os parabéns ao povo da Venezuela pela capacidade de resistência. Se tem erros na economia, se tem erros na política, é o povo da Venezuela que vai ajudar a consertar.
Lula, en Argentina hay una nueva situación, un cambio de gobierno, la llegada de un gobierno progresista con Alberto Fernández. ¿Cómo usted ve esa situación?
Olha, eu estou particularmente feliz. Acho que a volta da Cristina como vice do Fernandes e a eleição do Fernandes como presidente é um alento para a América do Sul, é um alento para a América Latina. O povo recuperou imediatamente o poder na Argentina e eu espero que, mesmo com muito sacrifício, o Fernandes consiga fazer aquilo que é o sonho e a expectativa do povo argentino. Eu acho que foi a melhor notícia que nós tivemos nesses últimos anos na América Latina, foi a eleição do López Obrador no México e a eleição de Fernandes na Argentina. Parabéns ao povo argentino pela ousadia de recuperar a democracia e que Deus ajude o Fernandes a fazer um bom governo.
¿Se puede rearticular la región en relación a esos dos polos, México, Argentina, y en relación también a las organizaciones internacionales, teniendo en cuenta el papel que está teniendo la OEA en Bolivia? ¿Hay otras organizaciones que puedan utilizarse?
Não, o papel da OEA é uma vergonha. O papel da OEA hoje é uma vergonha. Acho que o que está acontecendo na América Latina é uma articulação profunda da extrema-direita, liderada pelos Estados Unidos, liderada pelo Trump e os seus assessores, liderada pelo Departamento de Justiça dos Estados Unidos, uma perseguição, é quase que uma tentativa de destruir, né, aquilo que nós conquistamos de democracia na América Latina. Eu, aliás, em 500 anos de história, não conheço uma única atitude americana em benefício da autonomia e da liberdade de algum país na América Latina. Os Estados Unidos têm se comportado, me parece que para tentar evitar a influência da China na América Latina, para tentar enfrentar a importância da Rússia, sabe, no mundo geopolítico, os americanos resolveram tomar a América Latina outra vez. Ou seja, a América Latina não tem que ter protagonismo, a América Latina não tem que ter independência, a América Latina não tem que ter política própria. É os Estados Unidos que determina o que a gente vai fazer. E o Bolsonaro se submeteu a isso. Se submeteu da forma mais vergonhosa possível, batendo continência à bandeira americana. Sabe, quase que oferecendo a Amazônia para o governo americano. Isso é uma vergonha, isso nunca aconteceu no Brasil. E um país que tem autoestima, um país que tem orgulho próprio, um país que tem amor a si mesmo, não pode aceitar em nenhum país da América Latina essa submissão. Não dá para aceitar. Então é por isso que eu vou lutar. Eu vou lutar até os últimos dias da minha vida para que esse país recupere a soberania e para que a gente construa o velho sonho o velho sonho, sabe, de Bolívar de construir uma grande América Latina, bloco econômico forte, capaz de gerar desenvolvimento, capaz de competir com os Estados Unidos, capaz de competir com a Europa, capaz de competir com a China, com autonomia, com respeito e com autodeterminação.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Our actions have an impact on the environment. It's our responsibility to change for the sake of our planet. Let's be part of this transition. Watch, preserve, and protect your Green Zone. Wednesdays, only on Telesur. The Pakistani journalist Tariq Ali examines the mass media influence promoted by imperialism. Get access to the analysis of the socio-economic and political life of the whole South America on our screen and platform in English. A critical place committed to the truth to determine the major events that transform the world today. Mondays, only on Telesur.
Welcome back to From the South. Mozambique's main opposition party has denied responsibility for a number of recent armed ambushes. Renamo party leader Osufu Momadi defended his party and its military as the country has been experiencing continued armed attacks on vehicles in the central region. However, a breakaway Renamo group calling itself Military Junta has claimed responsibility for the attacks, which started after Mozambique's disputed October elections.
We are saying that, related to the attacks in the center of Mozambique, we do not take any responsibility. Our military or soldiers are in the military bases, waiting for the demobilization and reintegration.
Palestine's prime minister has said that Israel's decision to withhold around $43 million in tax handovers will deepen the financial crisis in the Palestinian Authority. Israel collects taxes on behalf of Palestinians under interim peace deals from the 1990s, but with diplomacy stalled since 2014, Israel has sometimes withheld money as a measure of protest or pressure.
The Israeli cabinet had decided yesterday to trim extra funds from the Palestinian set-off, from accrued funds that reached to 150 million shekels, under the claims of financial support to the families of the slain or wounded. This decision means that the amounts trimmed will reach 650 million shekels, which will send us back to a new place in crisis, which we have tried to overcome in management of public funds.
At least 6 people have died in India as a result of accidents due to dense fog covering large areas of the country. The fog reduced visibility in New Delhi, leading to the cancellation and delays of flights. Northern and western India is experiencing the lowest temperatures since 2013.
After many days, this kind of cold wave has hit Delhi. We have come here after wearing many layers of clothing, and we are waiting at the bus stop. We can see what is near, but far away things are not visible at all.
The Turkish government has announced plans to send troops to Libya. Turkish authorities are seeking Parliament's consent for the deployment of the troops. This move is part of Ankara's planned military support of the Government of National Accord to fight Khalifa Haftar's forces in the east of the North African country.
As the Foreign Ministry, we present the mandate to the Presidency to be sent to the Parliament. And as of today, we have learned from the President's office that the mandate will be sent to Parliament with the signature of the Honorable President within the day.
A Chinese court has sentenced the scientists who claim to have created the world's first gene-edited babies to 3 years in prison. He Jiankui was also fined with $430,000. Jiankui was an associate professor at the Southern University of Science and Technology in Shenzhen when, in November, he revealed that he used technology to change the genes of twin girls to prevent them from contracting HIV. He received local and international backlash after it was revealed that he forged ethical review materials. And with that, we've come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. And also join us on social media. We are on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. For Telesur English, I am Estefania Bravo. Until next time.
Discover the cultural diversity that defines a continent.